It was around 2 a.m. The village lay in complete silence. Somewhere far away, the faint howling of foxes echoed through the night. Dry leaves rustled as the cold wind brushed past them. There was no moon in the sky. Tonight was the night of a lunar eclipse. An unnatural darkness had fallen over everything, as if even light was afraid to enter this place. And then, from the direction of the old well in the center of the village, a child's cry was heard. That well had been sealed for over 20 years. No one ever went near it, because everyone remembered what was once inside. An old man named Motiur, who had seen much in his lifetime, picked up a stick and slowly walked toward the sound. Even his footsteps sounded unnaturally loud in the silence of the night. As he reached the well, the crying became clearer. He leaned forward and looked inside, and instantly his entire body trembled. There, inside the well, stood a child, but something was terribly wrong. The child slowly looked up at him and began to smile. Then its face started to twist, distort. Within seconds, it transformed into the face of an old man. Motiur screamed and fell backward, but by then it was already too late. From that very night, strange things began happening in the village. In that same village lived a poor fisherman named Rashed. His life was full of hardship. All day he cast his nets into the river, and at night he returned home exhausted. His wife, Maya, was pregnant. Early one morning while fishing, something unusual got caught in his net. A strange black stone. It didn't look ordinary. A faint glow pulsed from within it. The moment he touched it, a freezing sensation ran through his entire body. After that day, everything began to change. At first, he earned a little extra money, then more and more. Strangers came to him with business offers. Some gave him money, others helped him for no reason. Within just a few months, he became the richest man in the village. But the change wasn't just external. Something inside him was changing too. At night, he would sit alone, talking to an invisible someone. Sometimes he stood in front of the mirror, whispering to his own reflection. At the edge of the village lived a strange boy named Kamal. Since childhood, he had been fascinated by dark magic. One night, he ventured deep into the forest. After searching for hours, he found an old grave. Written on it was a name, Alvaro, a name that once brought terror to the entire village. Kamal dug up the grave and pulled out a skull. He drew strange symbols around it, slaughtered a chicken, and poured its blood into the skull. Suddenly, the wind stopped. The air grew heavy. Money appeared before him, piles of it, but within moments it began to rot. And then a voice echoed in the darkness, "Bring me back to life, and I will give you everything." Kamal's eyes filled with greed. "I agree," he whispered. Then came that night, the night of the eclipse. Maya was returning home alone. Suddenly, a dog began chasing her. She ran faster and faster until she entered the forest, and then everything went silent. From behind, someone grabbed her mouth. She couldn't move, couldn't scream. All she could feel was something dragging her down, into the ground, into darkness. The next morning, she was found unconscious, lying on top of a grave. Days later, she gave birth to a baby boy. They named him Nihal. But from the moment he was born, something was wrong. Whenever the call to prayer echoed, he screamed. When prayers were recited, he covered his ears. One day, when a midwife held him, his face suddenly changed into that of an old man, and he bit into her throat. Fear spread across the village. But Rashed, he knew everything, and yet he stayed silent, because this darkness had begun with him.
Time passed. Nihal grew older, but so did the darkness within him. Sometimes he would disappear and return without explanation. Villagers began getting injured in strange ways. Some claimed they had seen an old man with red eyes and blood on his face. One day, a boy saw Nihal, his face completely transformed. The next day, that boy lost his leg in a horrific accident. Now the village was certain this was no ordinary curse. The truth slowly emerged. Alvaro had once been a monster in human form. He abused women. He killed people. Finally, the villagers burned him alive. But his soul never died. It waited. It wanted to return. And for that, it needed a body. Nihal was that body. Rashed finally broke down. He confessed everything. Long ago, he had made a deal with a dark force to become rich. The condition was simple. One day, he would have to pay the price. He thought he could escape it. But darkness never lets anyone go. In desperation, a religious man, Hafiz